Yeah. I can talk a little bit about how I've gained all of the information. So what I do is I channel higher intelligence. I channel like the memory banks and energy. And what I do is I then translate that into the English language, our language, understandable language, and then that documents, the form that I brought them through is documents, and then that holds the energetics, which is then delivered to you guys. The architecture that is in Another Light is field-based architecture. So it's not new, it's very ancient, but it's only just coming back online. So it holds different levels of consciousness in a field, and that field is then synced with your energetical fields. So yeah, that is the way we're flowing. The way we're flowing today. With ease and with grace. So guys, if you're new or you're just coming on, I'm talking about my page that I have, which is in the link in my bio. It's full of channeled information. It is literally like a remembrance vault for your soul. Your soul to remember exactly why it's here, what it's here to do, and essentially gain different levels of light, different levels of consciousness, different levels of information, knowledge to then for you to utilize in this lifetime. So yeah, there's lots available. There's grounding, there's very, very high forms of frequency in there as well. So you just have to go visit and have a look. If you do go visit, then come back onto this live and ask me a question. I'll be able to answer it for you. If you have a specific transmission that you want to dive into today, then we can go and do that as well. I have just done some content on the red codes of Atlantis, so we can talk about that for now. So Atlantis, anybody connected? Anybody feel a connection to Atlantis? Drop it in the comments. For me, what pulls me is I have a massive grief point with Atlantis. I feel whenever I think about it, I feel really heavy, like really sorrowful. There's a lot of grief there underneath the surface, which I can't explain. There's some sort of longing, and that really has stuck with me through this lifetime, where I seem to not be able to let things go. And I traced it back to Atlantis times, and I'm still currently working through a lot, but I am at the stage where I'm ready to share this information with you guys. So if you are feeling that call to Atlantis, bear with me. Excuse me. So one of the major things that I did when I first awoke was I got addicted to past life regressions. With a trained practitioner, it was Canon, yeah, something to do with Canon, can't really remember now. Dolores Cannon, yeah, it was Dolores Cannon, and one of the practitioners who had trained in Dolores Cannon's technique basically got a lot of money out of me. Because I was just going every single week because I wanted to know more and more and more. It was very new, very exciting. And in one of these regressions that we did together, I went into a state of consciousness in Atlantis. So it was what I saw was it was a bright white light, and it was like one that would literally instantly blind you. So I was looking out the horizon. I wasn't in body. I was out of body, but in a higher dimensional plane, looking down upon this scene, and all I could see was this immeasurable bright white flash, one which literally burnt the sockets, burnt my eyes, and then it was over. And whilst in this past life regression, I literally wept my eyes out. I cried and I cried and I cried, and it was just releasing all of this guilt that was held within that lifetime from my body. It was truly like something I've never experienced before. And the context behind that took me on a very long journey. So it's been like 4 years now since that past life regression, and I felt like I've been slingshot right to the front, right to the front of the queue. So where was I? I was crying and crying and crying, and then I turned around and I wanted to know why there was this so much grief within my systems, and there was these 3 beams of light behind me, and push comes to shove, like a few hours later, I gained knowledge and the understanding of my role within that present moment of what I was viewing. And it's kind of safe to say there's a lot going on with Atlantis and that time period, and depending on what incarnations you've had in that lifetime or in that, let's say, era, there could be many different layers to your story. What my transmission, the Red Codes of Atlantis, is for is to help release that density that may be trapped in one of those layers. And as the layers are uncovered, as you are moving through the channel document, it targets different areas of your system, like to revert back to the original divine blueprint template. So it'll help lighten the senses, it'll help like lighten the DNA imprints or any negative coding that was there, because it's time at this moment, it's time with the great consciousness shift, the golden era coming in and arriving, the earth splitting, as lots of people are saying. Now is the time to, really deep dive into those levels so that you can start lightening your system, engaging with a higher version of life in general, and moving through and onwards with this path that we are on. So yeah, there is a lot of information out there. Go find it. There's lots of information and hidden knowledge about Atlantis too, which I haven't seen too much of it that has been coming through, but I certainly am starting to deep dive into it on my page. So go follow me if you aren't following me already, and follow the Red Codes of Atlantis, as we will go into some of those not so talked about things. But on my In Another Light, which is a remembrance bank basically for your soul, it helps you ignite different levels of your systems with a higher consciousness. So it's merging technology. So it is ancient technology, but it's just arriving again at this time of ascension. So basically it's formatted so that it builds a layer of, like, let's say we have an aura field. So it builds layers of energy around your system to be able to merge together and to be compatible with whatever is inside you already. Yeah, that makes sense. Sometimes I can waffle and sometimes I get caught up with my own words, but no. So it's a living field energetics. This is what I call it. A living field system which enables higher consciousness to be able to merge with your own living consciousness in a safe, structured way, so that you can move through different levels and gain like higher perspective, a higher energetic state also. And yeah, maybe I should name some of these transmissions as we go through. I'll flick through my book. So one of the first ones I've actually come to in my book is called Mirror Mirror. Now, Mirror Mirror is basically where you see yourself fully. Like, there is no hiding. You go into, it's like a meditation based transmission where you go through a corridor and you are faced with so many different versions of yourself. Now, it's one of those which you have to be ready for, because some of the reflections of self you might not want to see. So although it might be difficult to view, it'll be there telling you something about yourself which you need to know. So that's basically what that transmission is. It's helping you along this corridor, facing versions of yourself until you find that truest version of yourself which you want to then step through and enter into. So that is Mirror Mirror. So the next one I've come to is the Sight of the Seer. Now this one is based on third eye projection. So it is your psychic sight, it is the gifts that have maybe run through family lineages, it is the sight from within. This one really targets those layers through intention, and the intention set here is to lift the density that has been held through ancestral lines and ancestral lineages. It also helps you upgrade your sight. Now, one thing to mention with all of my transmissions and all of my documents that I have brought through is that you can return to them more than once. So they're not just one-time things. They're living fields existing. So when you move through and open one document, you work through that document, then you leave it a little while. Then when you return, it'll give you an extra layer. It'll give you that extra layer, that extra level up, say. And it will keep on doing that until you're at the level where it's not needed anymore. So it's something, all my transmissions are something that expands with you to help you, raise your consciousness, raise your frequency, and raise your understanding of where we are at this time in this life. So the Sight of the Seer is a really, really good one if you want to help upgrade your psychic gifts, even start the journey of awakening those senses. So a follow on from the Sight of the Seer is another transmission that I brought through called the White Seers of Orion. Now, the Orion constellation is architecture, basically. It's all star systems, and all stars are architecture, and they are mapped out in a certain way to hold that energy structure, hold different energies and different points, let's say, of accumulated energy for utilization. So the White Seers of Orion are specialists in architecture and specialists in site architecture, which they basically hold the gridwork of the psychic abilities and the structures of psychic abilities within our construct of Earth, or our human existence, let's say, and all of existence, not just ours. But there is lots of different lines that are held, which have been made specifically for sight. So the White Seers of Orion go through those layers with you and help you understand what tools you have what tools are available at this time. You also get to meet their energetical imprints, their energetical systems, and gain delivery of what it is your system needs to improve or release, or where you need guidance. That connection there is going to be established for you to be able to connect in future terms. Okay, so if you're still with me, absolutely great. It's a lot. I can get carried away with myself, but we are going through some of the transmissions that are held in another light, which is my memory bank, which is a living remembrance of your soul's continuity. So basically you dive in. It is self-led. I'm not there to help you, but there is an option called the hidden path where I can help you decide which transmissions which transmissions will be best for you, and help then give you a structure to be able to move through that hidden path. Let's go. Oh, I haven't talked about this one a lot, but give me 2 minutes. I'm gonna have a sip of water. Please stick with me. This next one is about manifestation. Okay. So, unexpectedly, I have brought through something called the 3-day manifestation loop. Now, this is a loop that is one of the fastest ways to bring through your manifestation. I was really, really surprised when I started using this, how fast things started turning up for me. And it has been channeled through from the highest point that I could attain at that time, because my intentions was to be able to bring through a system that really, really helps you shift, not in months, not, in years, but it really, really targets the system so that you can move through really, really quickly. So it's a 3-day loop, 3 days. So it's not to say that you can manifest something like that in 3 days. It is a 3-day loop. It is a 3-day, basically 3-day guide on which you can do and then repeat it. And it is the fastest way I know of to bring through manifestations. I will see whether I can show you the front cover of that. So it looks like that. I know it's backwards for you guys, but if you are wanting a really good manifestation technique, I have literally just manifested myself a new social media role, content creation with that technique listed in that document. So everything that I'm talking about today you can find in my memory bank in another light. It is a remembrance for your soul, where you can gain new levels of architecture delivered into your systems from the many different planes of existence that are available. I'm going to skip this next one. It's again about the divine architecture of harmonic grids. Literally, it goes into how you can work with Earth's grids to connect yourself more to Earth and more to the different layers above to form your own grid, basically. So the next one, actually, I'm quite excited about this one. Quite excited to tell you about this one. And sometimes I really forget how many transmissions I've actually brought through. So this one is, let's see where I can get that. Starlink to activate starseed energy. So if you are a starseed, if you are wondering if you're a starseed, then this document is like a massive tick for you guys. So activating your starseed energy, this actually brings you energetically a direct link to your lineage, to your starseed lineage. So from that, you can expect many different things. But one of the things that this will do is energetically connect you to that stream of energy where you have come from. So as a soul, yes, we have many different incarnations in many different time frames, many different, you know, levels, many different on-world and off-world places. So this will connect you to the link that is the truest for you at the time of delivery. Now, that's not to say that you're going to go into this document and you will get the direct link, but know exactly where you're from straight away. This is something that is going to be evolving with you over time, something that helps you uncover the layers and feel a direction within your soul to follow. So for me, when I go into Starlink to activate starseed energy, especially when I am listening to it, because all of my transmissions do have audio as well as a written document, when I listen to this one, I am sent. I am sent. Like, I am gone. And every single time I bring back different pieces of information, and those different pieces of information, like, lead me in directions, and those those directions lead me to another piece of information which I need at that time. So it also helps, this document also helps with that energetical loss, basically, because when you're a starseed, you feel that loss of home, you feel that loss of you wanting to be connected when you don't necessarily know where that connection is. So that the Starlink to activate starseed energy is definitely one I would recommend to those starseeds, whether you are just starting to learn about these things or whether you're fully into it. It's going to bring and activate so many different layers to that your own energy system. And that's probably one of my favourite ones, actually. It's probably one of my favourite transmissions that I've brought through. Let's see. Let's go. I'm just flicking through my folder here, guys, so just bear with me just until one catches my eye, and they'll be like, "It's me. I want to be talked about next." We're here. We're here. We flipped through about 3 or 4 transmissions there. So the next one I want to talk about is Weaver. Now, there are many different weavers in this world. Now, when I talk about a weaver, I am talking about being able to weave the energy streams into some sort of flow for the benefit of yourself or the benefit of consciousness. So with the weaver, it helps you find out what sort of energy stream you have in this connection, in this life. So you can be an earth weaver, you can be an energetical weaver, water weaver, air weaver. There is so many, but this document focuses on the 10 different weavers that are here at this time, incarnated. It'll explain a little bit about what those weavers are and actually bring you that connection energetically, so that your system can then accept it, receive it, and then obviously you can then utilize it. So that one really is a good one for finding out what sort of energies that you are best working with. Now, when was this? Let's go January, February, March, April last year. I was reached out to by Archangel Lord Kamika. Now, if you're new or if you've stuck around, cheers. I am a channel. That means I can bring and tap into the higher consciousness, higher energy streams to be able to deliver information. And most of this information I have put in a memory bank, which is your soul's remembrance in another light. So this is basically a memory bank of your soul, where you can move through the different layers and different transmissions to be able to elevate your systems, ascend your energy through the body, not escapism, but being able to level up and understand more about your soul, your original divine blueprint, and those energetics that we are working with at this time, with the new earth vibrations, the golden age era, or however you wish to explain it, or whatever is your truth. So Archangel Kamika came through, and I have three or maybe two different transmissions with him. One of them, let's go, bear with me. Yes, okay. So the ignition of light, Lord Kamika, the ignition of light. This one dives into the birth process, the living process, and the death process. So it does explain what happens after death. It does also explain the process of growing up as a child. So it really, really accesses and hits that inner child wound, if you have one, of departing what you knew once as a child, growing up, and then departing again as you pass over. It's literally basically been brought through to help eliminate the fear aspect of dying. And yeah, it is a lot, but it is really also held by that energy. So you don't actually, when you go into that document, it is helping already your energetical systems get used to releasing that fear. I'm trying to flick through my pages as we go. There's quite a lot in that one. I've already talked about Atlantis. There is another one of Archangel Lord Kamika, where it's called Your Soul's Remembrance. That will help you remember more of what your soul wants you or wishes you to reveal to yourself at that time as well. So all of my channel transmissions are available at this moment. All you have to do is head to the link in my bio, and that will move you into another light, and then you can flow through and maybe come back to this, because I will post this also. But if you use your intuition, it'll help guide you to which document that you need at this time. If not, there is an option called the hidden path. That path is going to help you by me. So I'm going to use my channeling abilities, some questions that I'm going to give to you, you reply, and from that I will help map out a route for you to be able to walk that hidden path, and to use my transmissions. Yeah, so I've gone through a few. There is so much more to go through, but for now I think I'm going to take a rest. And if you haven't seen my recent TikToks on the Red Codes of Atlantis, go check them out. And thank you very much for listening. And now I'm going to try and end it.